We've spent a lot of years talking with some of the most successful people you can imagine. And behind the scenes, we've noticed this quiet, almost hidden struggle that so many of them face. It's not about the climb, it's about what happens when you finally get to the top. So today, we're going to talk about that feeling, and more importantly, a way to move beyond it. So let's just jump right in with a question. Have you ever worked your tail off for years to get something? That big promotion, selling your company, hitting that magic number in your bank account? And when you finally got it, you just felt empty? If you've ever stood at the finish line and had that thought, wait, is this it? I promise you, you are not alone. It's an incredibly common and deeply human experience.
This feeling is so widespread that we've actually given it a name, the hollow summit. It's this strange, unsettling paradox, isn't it? You finally reach the peak of what the world says is success, but you can't shake the feeling that you've lost something really important on the way up.
Imagine spending your whole life climbing a mountain. Everyone's telling you that's the one to climb, get to the top. So you sacrifice, you push, you finally get there. And you're expecting this incredible, breathtaking view, but instead the air is so thin you can barely breathe. That's what the hollow summit feels like. It's the spiritual suffocation, right at the moment you're supposed to be celebrating. And look, this isn't just a bad mood or a fleeting thought. It's a real, profound experience that we call summit syndrome. It's that feeling of total disorientation when you finally hit that big goal, only to find that the void you thought it would fill is still there. And sometimes it feels even bigger than it did before.
So what is going on here? Why does a life that looks so successful on the outside feel so shaky on the inside? Well, there's this fascinating metaphor from science that we think just perfectly captures what's happening.
Okay, so think of something called a supercooled liquid. It looks completely stable, right? Just like a glass of water. But what you can't see is that it's in this incredibly fragile, high-tension state. The slightest bump and the whole thing can instantly shatter into a million pieces. A life that's built just on performance, on the next win, on what other people think, it's exactly like that. It might look great, but it's under constant, invisible pressure, and it's ready to fall apart at any moment.
And this really shows us that there are two totally different ways to build a life. On one hand, you have that metastable life. It looks fine, but it's driven by external things, and it's so fragile. But then there's the crystalline life. This one is different. It's strong from the inside out. It's built on a solid internal purpose, which makes it resilient. It can handle the pressure because its stability doesn't come from its circumstances. This quote, wow, it just gets right to the point, doesn't it? You can have all the success in the world. You can cover that cage in gold, but if your soul isn't free, it's still a cage. Money and fame can't fix a broken foundation.
And that brings us to the real heart of the issue. See, the problem isn't the ambition itself. The real root of that fragile, caged feeling is a classic case of mistaken identity. Something that, if we're all being honest, is so easy to fall into. It's a concept called identity foreclosure. It's what happens when we let our role, CEO, doctor, artist, whatever it is, become our identity. We commit to that identity before we've ever done the real work of figuring out who we are at our core, who God made us to be. We completely confuse what we do with who we are. And here is the profound danger in that. When your job title is your identity, your very soul becomes brittle. It's built on something that can vanish in an instant. A bad quarter, a layoff, a health crisis. And if the doing gets taken away, it feels like your whole being is just annihilated. The real you gets starved to feed this professional version of you. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem, and it might sound a little heavy, but here's the really good news. There is a way out, and it's not about hustling harder or finding a bigger mountain to climb. It's about a fundamental and deeply hopeful shift in how we build our lives.
The way to break out of that cage, to finally be able to breathe at the summit, is to stop playing by the world's rules. It's about taking the blueprint the world gave you for a successful life and turning it completely upside down.
So often the world tells us life works like this: have, do, be. It says, if I can just have enough success, then I can do the things I really want, and then I will be somebody important. But it's a trap. It never works. The kingdom model, the liberating truth, completely flips it. It starts with be. First, you ground yourself in who you are in Christ, secure, loved, and enough. From that solid foundation of being, you then do the work that flows out of that identity. And what you have simply becomes a byproduct of living and working in alignment with who you are, not the source of your worth.
This little phrase changes everything. When you know deep down that your worth is already secure,
You stop working for approval. You're not chasing it from your boss, your spouse, or social media anymore. You start working from a place of already being approved, and your work completely transforms from a frantic performance into a joyful expression of who you truly are.
So as we close, we just want to leave you with this one question to think about. What is your life built on? Is it built on a fragile pane of glass, your accomplishments, your performance, ready to shatter at the first sign of pressure? Or is it built on the solid rock of who you were created to be? It's a choice we all get to make. And the beautiful thing is, it is never, ever too late to start building on stone.